Now, what I'd like you to do is have a look at the graphic that is on your screens now. What comes to mind when you look at this graphic? It's the difference between being mindful and mindful. You take your dog for a walk and the dog is completely in the moment, fully experiencing and enjoying the walk. But your mind is elsewhere, thinking about dinner, a conflict, or maybe an upcoming project. A Harvard study found that we spend on average 46.7% of our time not thinking about what we're currently doing. So we spend almost half of our lives thinking about things that have happened in the past and pondering over things that might or could happen in the future. Meaning we miss the only time we truly have, now. Mindfulness is simply being in the moment. And just like any other skill, this can be learned and strengthened. Say 40 years ago, if I said to you I was going for a run after this training, you'd have asked me, well, who's chasing you? Or if I said I'm off to the gym, you might have said, well, who's he? Now, we recognise that to keep and maintain physical fitness, we need to exercise regularly. And we recognise the importance and value of doing this on our health. We don't wait until we're injured to start, and if we stop, we know that our fitness will decline. Over the past 5 years or so, there's been a huge surge in the availability of mindfulness tools, and research studies showing evidence of the benefits regular mindfulness practice can have on our lives. Fast forward another 5-10 years, and mindfulness and other proactive and preventative mental strength tools will be the norm. A mental well-being workout will be as common and as important as going for a run or going for a gym class is now. And that's because, I come back to this quote again, our calm mind is our ultimate weapon against our challenges. And mindfulness is how we can cultivate that calm mind, which enables us to give the very best of ourselves to any situation. Perhaps you've tried mindfulness before but felt like you were doing it wrong. Felt too busy to find the time to include it in your life, maybe put off trying it because it seems a bit woo-woo, or just not known where to start. If so, you've probably felt a bit confused by it all, and mindfulness as a word can be misused, so I understand if you're coming to this with a skeptical mind. So let's debunk some myths here. You don't need to be a monk sat cross-legged on a mountain to practice mindfulness. Quite simply, mindfulness practice is focusing our attention. When we notice our mind has wandered or got distracted, we bring our attention back to an anchor, which is usually our breathing. In a world full of distractions competing for our attention, focus is one of our greatest skills. A brain that is better at paying attention and is focused allows us to be less distracted, to get tasks done quicker and more effectively. We're then less likely to get drawn into destructive negative thinking loops, meaning we lead a happier and more confident life. And then we're more self-aware of our thinking mind and are able to respond to challenges calmly rather than an emotional knee-jerk reaction that we might later regret. The more we do this action of bringing our attention back to our breath, the easier it becomes. Just like doing physical reps with weights at the gym. The good thing is that mindfulness is a fairly straightforward process. You don't need to sit in a funny position, light incense, or do any chanting. There's no fees, nothing to join, no special outfits to wear either. Just a few minutes of your time to do a simple 4-step process. 1, decide how long you're going to practice for. 2, choose a comfortable place to practice. This is usually sitting upright on a chair or maybe cross-legged on the floor. 3, bring your attention to your breathing. 4, each time you notice your mind has wandered off, gently bring your attention back to your breath without judgment. And that's it. The aim of mindfulness isn't to clear your mind completely. Instead, the goal is to focus your mind, and when you get distracted, bring it back and start again. This action of bringing our attention back is neuroplasticity in action. The more we practice and do this, the stronger those pathways become and the better we get at it. Expecting impactful results from doing one mindfulness exercise is like going to the gym and expecting to have a six-pack after the first session. As much as we might like it to happen that way, we know that's not how it works. So you can't do this once and say it's not for you and then it doesn't work. Just like physical exercise, consistency is how we build our fitness to see results. It's our marginal gains and small actions to turn up each day that build and add up to the impactful benefits that we desire. With so many scientifically proven benefits, we can't afford not to discover the power of this 5,000-year-old mind training for ourselves. It's been shown to have the ability to reduce our stress and anxiety, to make us less emotionally reactive. There's a few nice quotes to sum up with mindfulness. One from The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, who said the main dilemma of human existence is thinking about awareness. And it's so true. We are so often carried away by our own thoughts, getting caught up chasing and overthinking unhelpful ones. But we can't always control which thoughts arise in our mind, but we can always choose which thoughts we follow. The more we can build our mindfulness muscle and mindfulness as a habit, the stronger our self-awareness of our thinking mind becomes, enabling us to hit the emotional pause button and choose to pivot from unhelpful to helpful thoughts. Another quote is from John Kabat-Zinn, who really is responsible for bringing mindfulness from Eastern philosophy into Western society. He says, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf." But to end, I'll share my favourite quote from Professor Mark Williams, who says, "In mindfulness, we start to see the world as it is, not as we expect it to be, or how we want it to be, or what we fear it might become."